Influencers will do just about anything nowadays to get noticed. Some people film themselves spraying grocery store fruit with bug spray, and others straight up harass people in public for views.
You need to delete that footage right now, bro.
But now a new lane has opened up. People who humiliate themselves. There's a new wave of creators that are embarrassing themselves in order to get attention. And the crazier thing is it's actually working. This is Dabo. He is a creator that is on the forefront of the humiliation trend. And today we're gonna find out if this was actually worth it for him. Although Dabo is now a full-time content creator, he has a new set of problems that is making him think if this was really worth it. You might be thinking, he's making money from embarrassing himself. What's the downside? Honestly, I initially thought the same thing, but I found a clip of a humiliation content creator, as I call them, talking about what his life is really like after he's blown up. And you'll be surprised on what he says. Now, in order for what he's saying to make sense, we have to understand how this happens. Going back to the forefront of the humiliation trend, what was Dabo's life like before he blew up? When Dabo started his career on YouTube, he was a reaction channel. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. It just felt like a teenager making reaction videos in his basement, kind of what you would expect. But every once in a while, Dabo would make a video where he would cry or get really upset, and this would start to bring in more views. Now, I want to know your guys' opinions in the comments. If he blew up off of luck or honestly earned it with how many uploads he has. His first big real pop was when he made a reaction video to NBA YoungBoy, claiming that NBA YoungBoy dissed him personally. At least that's the impression I got from the title and thumbnail. It seems he got a negative reaction because the comments on this video are turned off, but regardless, it did give him attention. It was around the same time he cried in one of the videos from a music reaction, and that video got him a lot of attention. So I think it was around this point, Dabo was thinking, this is my lane. I listen to good music and have an over-the-top reaction for it. And that slowly got him to a certain level of clout, dare I say. But as we know with most content creators, once they get to a certain level and plateau, they want more. So Dabo, being a good content creator, decided to double down on the music reaction category. The formula being, let's take a song that's top of mind, and then I'll react to it in a way that's over the top. I'll either cry, start yelling, or do something crazy. And honestly, YouTube loved that. And this is really where he started his humiliation arc. After a few key collabs with people like Black Boy Max, and really leaning into that humiliation arc, he started to make some real progress with his channel. Now I have a question for you. Would you trade places with Dabo? When it's all said and done, would you have the platform he has at the cost of you embarrassing yourself and that being in your digital footprint there forever? I think it's difficult putting yourself on that path when you're young. If you were a little bit older, maybe this was like the last ditch effort, the Hail Mary, so to speak, that might be a little different. But the thing is, if this doesn't work out long term, this is gonna be one heck of a thing to clean up. So Dabo's at a point, he's collabing with some big names. He has a platform, he's making money, but now everyone thinks he's clapped, dare I say. Now I do think this is something he's trying to run from, or at least fix. On his Dabo live channel, he has videos of him trying to do makeovers. The reason I say trying is because most of the comments are saying, okay, I feel like that made it worse. You know what I mean? Or wow, that didn't really help. So I think he's aware, he's conscious of it, but honestly, I think it's getting to him, especially with some of the fan interactions he's been having. I think it's starting to hurt him in a different way. Take this clip, for example.
I just need one request. I ain't trying to be weird. I just need a pepper. Take it, bro. You ugly. You got a picture. Hey, let's go home. I swear to God. Hey!
When have you heard this happening to someone else on the internet? A fan came up to Dabo knowing who he was and said, hey, can I get a picture with your girlfriend because you're ugly as crap? If Dabo keeps embarrassing himself, there's going to be more interactions like this. I know this was on camera, but imagine all the off-camera situations that have been just like this. That would hurt you in a special way. But it wasn't all bad for Dabo. It was around this time he made a second channel where he would upload videos of him live streaming. He would put the highlights from his Twitch stream on there, and this is where he really started to get some attention. He started collaborating with different rappers in the space, even linking up with Che, and then Tana and Ruby Rose. Believe it or not, Dabo would actually start dating around this time too, having a girlfriend that he describes as toxic, and would make a lot of videos regarding how toxic their relationship was, getting counseling on stream, and then him finding out she cheated, and recycling this process over and over again. But something that gave Dabo the most clout was his interactions with Playboi Carti. Dabo is a longtime Cardi fan, and he's glazed him to the highest extent. He even called himself Cardi's biggest glazer, which is pretty funny. But the best thing about this whole thing is Playboy Cardi eventually found out about these videos. He liked the videos enough to where he actually met Dabo in passing. A little while later, Dabo would end up linking up with Kai Cenat, and they even streamed Playboy Cardi's concert live in person. A personal favorite moment of Dabo's channel for me was when he just recently did Streamer University. It's funny, you can tell streaming is actually a skill. There was a situation where he walked into DDG's classroom, purposely showed up late, purposely made a ruckus so that DDG would call him out, and then he would proceed to box DDG live on stream. And then that moment would kind of be a meme where DDG would eventually make a fight club that he didn't want Kai Cenat to know about. But this all started from Dabo being himself and an experienced streamer. But having the rise he did, he gets tested left and right. Meaning strangers will come up to him, as I said, and say the craziest things to him. But believe it or not, Dabo is not the only creator experiencing this. Enter Tyler Jones. Tyler blew up in almost the same way Dabo did, by humiliating himself. In fact, his first video is embarrassing myself for your entertainment. Recently, he made a video about the behind the scenes look on being a YouTuber. We know he's a humiliation YouTuber, so this is going to be interesting. Here's what he had to say.
But the hardest thing that I had to come to terms with, which actually sounds pretty funny, was the fact that I knew that by doing this YouTube short, I was gonna ruin my chance with every single freaking woman in the school, bro. I knew that there would be like zilch chance I would be able to get a girl from my school. And believe it or not, that really is what hurt me the most.
Tyler was right, and funny enough, this is exactly what Dabo's experiencing every day. Even though he has a quote-unquote girlfriend, I think it is taking a toll on his love life. But at the end of the day, it's really up to him to decide if it's worth it. But regardless, this humiliation trend is real.